take with a grain of salt. Don't trust the news media. I think that's pretty much the mantra of the last several years, understanding that they have certain agendas that they press, and they'd rather push propaganda than inform the public, which should be their first and foremost duty. Speaking of informing the public, so I found out today, maybe some other people already know, that the very first case of the Wuhan coronavirus was actually back in November of last year. Chinese have actually been suppressing information about this, and they did it until they couldn't do it anymore, is what happened. Once the virus got out of the country, once they had to admit that there was a pandemic over there, that's when they started talking about it. I usually don't go political on my channel. I try not to, but, and I always got to preface these by saying I'm not a Trump supporter. Like, I don't even know what that means. I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't go to Trump rallies. I don't have a MAGA hat. I don't care if people go to Trump rallies wearing MAGA hats. I don't give a damn. But I support the office of the president, and I think President Trump's doing a good job right now, doing the best job that he can. That's just my opinion. But one of the things Trump talked about several years ago, while he was running for election, was the dangers of China. And it's a difficult thing to bring up, because people think you're trying to push certain ideologies, but let's just look at the truth of it. We outsource most of our manufacturing jobs to China, and that bit us in the ass. And as of right now, we import 90% of our antibiotics from China. All right, where they're eating bats and snakes and tadpoles, and viruses are coming out of there. Can't figure out why. But 90%, along with a few other things. I think vitamin C is something else that they mass produce, but we don't produce that here now, right? Our industries were all shipped overseas to cut costs, and that's the fault of the corporate masters above, or so they like to think they are. That's their fault, not wanting to pay Americans or Westerners in your respective countries the wages that they're owed, the wages that they're due. I'd rather ship it to a third world country where they have where they have places like China, in case you all forgot, where they are locking up people because of their religious disposition into camps. Can't imagine why a virus came out of China. I can't imagine why. This isn't a racist thing. All right? I don't even think it's a nationalist thing. Right now, as it stands, China could, in theory, stranglehold the entire world right now. Virus that came out of their country. Who knows how exactly it came out of their country? We know we're not getting told the truth by them. You're not getting the whole story. They're talking about expelling reporters who aren't towing their line and towing their narrative. I mean, that's scary. That's scary. We're over here, at least for me, in the United States. I think other Western countries are having similar issues right now. But I mean, as a Republican of the United States, we're having a big problem with dealing with our news media and how they present things, withhold things. More interested in pushing ideas than news. Not that there shouldn't be a certain amount of speculation and investigative reporting, but your job is to report facts, not Trump derangement syndrome or whatever craziness, whatever craziness you believe in. It's not about that. It should be about presenting facts and informing the public, excuse me. China don't care about that, okay? It's a whole different type of government. It's a whole different system. So you're not towing the party line, the Communist Party line, you will get thrown in jail. You will be shut down. All right? Look at the way that America's dealing with this right now. All right? Things are starting to shut down slowly. And that's because in America, we love our freedom, we love our fast food, we love our guns. We're rebellious by nature. We're very freedom-minded, even though certain things have happened in the past several decades, like 9/11 and the Patriot Act, which actually took away many of our freedoms. But things are being shut down, at a certain rate, so that everyone can get used to it. America's a big machine. You can't just, any country is a big machine. You can't just turn it off. I was just driving, I was just taking 95 down to Virginia, and the cash-only tolls were shut down. I had no idea. Just, you can't, it's only Easy Pass all the way down. It's just reality of what we're in right now, and this is going to last for several months. But China could put a stranglehold on the entire West if they wanted to. They got everybody. They're barricading people into their buildings, man. All right, it's not like just a house quarantine. Like, they're barricading them in and spraying their entire neighborhoods down with disinfectants. The virus started there. They've got months on us, in as far as their medical science, to fight this virus. So who knows if they have anything that's leading to a cure by this point, or treatment. I'm sure they have treatments, but they could withhold that. They could easily withhold that. It's just something to think about. And that does not mean, for the love of the gods, that does not mean if you see a Chinese American or an Asian American, if you're too blind to understand the subtle differences between the different types of Asian peoples out there, don't. It's not their fault. Please don't discriminate. I had heard AOC talking about this. They call the Wuhan virus. The Wuhan virus is racist. AOC is a batshit crazy person, but there's that type of rhetoric comes out of the far left so often that I don't believe it I don't believe stories when I hear them, until I heard a story the other day from a Chinese cat, younger guy, comes around my house now and again, and he was treated differently at a pharmacy. He was, not only was he treated differently, he was spoken to about that he should be in his house by somebody. Now, those types of people are rude, ignorant, and just don't breed. If you're that damn racist, if you're that ignorant, if you're that racist, just don't breed, please. Because this cat that comes over, he's an American. He's born here. That's an American citizen. I don't care what his disposition is, or who he sleeps with, or where he's from, or nothing. He shouldn't have gone through that. So please, on the flip side of understanding that this shit came from China, this is a lot of people are saying it's the flu. I've heard that it is a form of SARS. I am not an expert. And for information on the coronavirus, go to the CDC. Listen to the White House. Listen to scientists. Do not listen to MSNBC or CNN or shit, even Fox News for that matter. Okay? These organizations, Fox included, Fox, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you because you spun some pretty dumb shit when Obama was president. These news organizations have proven time and again that they are not to be trusted. So go straight to the source. Go to CDC. Go to verified institutions that can give you the real up and up with no bias, no spin, none of that shit. So yeah, that's about all I want to talk about. I was just thinking about those things as I was driving down here, and a month from now, I'd like to see if my thoughts are true. We're a month into this quarantine when everything is kind of shut down, and we've been through it for a little bit. If communist China begins to exercise or flex its muscle once they've started to move past this pandemic, and they basically have control over.
There's a speed trap ahead.
Well, I guess there's a speed trap ahead. So we'll see what happens. Stay safe, y'all. Wash your hands. Be smart. This is the time to take care of your loved ones. Look after your elders. It's very important. It's very important. We know that the far lefties and a lot of the younger millennials and Gen Zs, they don't give a damn. They have no respect for our elders. But our elders are the reason that we are where we are today. They're the ones that worked hard to get us to where we are today. They are the wisdom of our culture. So do yourself a favor. Take care of your elders. They're the ones that are most at risk right now. And be good to each other. No, none of that racist shit. But man, just be good to each other, all right? Peace.